You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Hey, what's up, people? What's going on? Hey, we're back again for another podcast coming through with Zod and Drea, of course.
This has been another fantastic week.
Yes. So of
another one.
So of course we got to get right into it because this week was actually busy. It was really busy for us, but we got things.
But when isn't it?
I know it is. It's crazy. But the good thing is, we got things planned. The busy thing that we had, if you're over in the Scottsdale area on June 2nd, which is what we were working on so hard on, Shantae Moore, singer-songwriter, I think Grammy nominee. She's a whole bunch of things, NAACP award winner. But she's going to wind up performing over at BLK Live over in Scottsdale.
In the North Scottsdale area.
And that's what why are you acting all shocked?
I know.
You completely help put this whole thing together,
I'm trying to build the interest.
So the Corley Group is putting this on. So you can go to thecorleygroupllc.com for tickets. Otherwise, look on Zod and Drea and on the website zodandrea.com, and you'll also see where it's playing.
And there'll be also another jazz performer, right? There's
going to be another jazz performer. Mel Brown and Friends is playing, and he's a 2-time Grammy winner.
Oh.
So it's going to be a great show, and it's all white. So make sure you dress white. Bring all your white with a splash of color. So it's going to be a nice good feel party.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, it's been our main focus, and it's been a labor of love.
Yeah. So that's what we've been so busy on. And, with this podcast, we also went to a graduation. Mm-hmm. And that's what even sparked up the main topic. But before we talk about that, we're going to talk about the movie review, which is... Split. So Split's going to be the movie topic. And off topic, we're going to be talking about starting a business together as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. But it's this creme de la creme after seeing what these graduating kids in high school were going through or looking like is what our main topic is, which is our teen girls today sexualized more than previous generations.
It was an eye-opener.
It was something. I'm telling you, if you got teen girls, we're going to talk about teen girls mostly on this episode. We'll talk about teen guys later at another date, but the sexuality for teen girls is... that was something to see, I don't remember being like that. So, we're going to get into it.
All I say, if you're parents of a teenage daughter, lock them up. Just put them away in the basement.
They're going to wind up getting out anyway, little bastards. But, let's get into this. So we're going to talk about the movie Split, which we finally saw. It's been out in the movies. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, and, he's been a little shifty. Since his debut with Sixth Sense.
Which was, let's just face it, if any of us that saw Sixth Sense, that just still moves you, right? It was great, especially, it was very much the Alfred Hitchcock type of endings in movies, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I didn't expect that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God, and it was so good. It was really well done. And then, he came out with other movies. You like Signs.
I liked Signs.
I thought Signs was funny. I laughed at it. I was like, Mel, what do you... Anyway, Joaquin, stop it. I was like, what
why
you
gotta
doing?
hate?
It just was not mysterious to me.
It was so good because of the story inside of it, and which is what he's good at doing, is giving these backstories to all the characters and pulls you at the heartstrings a little bit.
Again, I like The Village better than I like Signs, and I didn't think The Village was all that at the end.
I thought The Village sucked face.
Yeah, but that's just it. That was Signs. I'm like, this is stupid. Anyway, so this one is called Split. And, we've been waiting for M. Night to come out with something that's going to make us say, all right, now I think he's back.
Yeah, he's finally getting there. So the lead actor in this movie is James McAvoy, a.k.a. Professor X.
Yeah.
And what he brings to the story, what the story is really all about is his character who is seeing a psychiatrist that is doing some untraditional therapies for him because he has split personalities, which is called It's DID.
DID, dissociative identity disorder.
And no longer is it now labeled split personalities or multiple personalities. It's now this new label because of all the different identities that can show up. So it turns out with this character, he's got 23 identities.
23, but there's a 24th he says is coming. But, throughout it's like she thinks that it's just bluster because this 24th identity, which he calls the Beast, just sounds like a fable that all of his identities have made up in order to scare the other ones into, submission, more or less.
Correct. And through that, you see what this character does, trying to fight that, I guess, quote unquote demon, and yet also trying to still stay into the light, still seeking help. And to me, this story, it was really fascinating because you look at, well, is it very self-reflective? Like, don't we all fight some kind of demon?
Yeah, but not the way that he was. Because, the premise of the story is when one of his personalities kidnaps, knocks out a father and kidnaps 3 girls. And you're not sure what his mission is. Later on, you find out his mission. Well, you're not even sure if it's really his mission, to tell you the truth. He just says, "You are food." I think it was like, "You are food" or something. And the girls were like, "What are you talking about?" Considering he's taking care of them. And there's one girl who's the main lead who seems to, she hesitates. Normally what somebody would do is if somebody tried to kidnap you, you'd fight. You'd fight hard as soon as they came through. And she sits back. She takes her time.
But we find out towards the end of the movie,
Stop.
like always, about what her true personality is. Just like what M. Night Shyamalan does, he always ties everything up at the end.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily about her or why. It's because I don't want to give any type of anything about the ending with Split because it's mostly about McAvoy.
He was so good.
Yeah, he was really good in it. You can see the personalities change in the way that he's acting. Like some of them would have a voice inflection. Some, even his face would wind up changing. His mannerisms. He made sure that he did a really good job on that, where their voices would change. And considering he is, I do believe he is a British actor. He was spending all his time speaking in English accents the whole time.
Right.
But the girls did a really good job, and so did the psychiatrist. So it was a really small cast. And the ending. I don't think it so much was a huge giveaway. It wasn't one of those, it wasn't a Sixth Sense. It was, oh my God, M. Night. But it was more clarification, and I think that's what you're saying, more clarification about the main character.
Right.
And that's where the anticipation is.
Now, what it also did too was, for me, it fascinated me about what the mind can do and the possibilities of what your mind can create. That's why I think people go see this movie. Go.
When I point.
All right.
I
was like, oops, I got to wrap it up because I'll keep talking about it forever.
Anyway, go and see it. Make sure you check out Drea's review on zodanddrea.com. The off topic, of course, is we want to talk about something because we're kind of really happy about this. This topic is starting a business together as a couple. You've gotten a couple people that have done that. You even were talking about today when she was looking at porn today. All right, she wasn't really looking at porn. She was looking at a documentary about Penthouse and how Bob Guccione had started his business, but also how he ran it almost in tandem with his lover, who he didn't marry. You were saying he didn't marry her, but that was the woman he loved. And they started she was almost a backbone of the business because when she died, it was a wrap.
Yeah, it fell apart. It was a really interesting documentary. What I also found out about that was at the time in the late 60s, early 70s, only 2 magazines had female staff members and female leadership. One was Miss and the other one was Penthouse. So, but that's another story we can talk about later on.
I'm like, that's nothing.
Yeah, another topic. But
but
the thing with him and the relationship that he had with his partner was that she brought out a strength that he didn't have. Right? So he was strong in one way, she was strong in another way. And I think that is so crucial for us developing our business, knowing what each other's strengths are. Like I know for you've had tremendous strengths when it comes to what you can create digitally and on social media. you've got this creative mind. And I know for me, I am like I fall asleep when it comes to sometimes when I have to enter in data or write and stuff. It takes me a while, right? Because I'm antsy. I want to get out and I want to like do stuff. So it's like we both kind of feed into what it is going to be then our strengths, as we're both similar, yet we have also so many different strengths.
See, so starting a business together as a couple, because I'm going to back up for a second, because what I'm excited about is Zod Andrea is an LLC now. Mm-hmm. So it's Zod Andrea, LLC. So we have actually made it into a business, and there's certain things that we're going to be offering now that we've been doing this for almost a year. So it was one of those things. Do we just leave it as is? But it's like, no, let's start up a business together. Now this is nothing too new for us, because I have been running Redline Designs for like 20 years. I used to have Black Ink with my other friends. That was an LLC. I've worked with a whole bunch of other companies. You started Viaza LLC. Mm-hmm. So we're doing this. So this one, Zod Andrea LLC, is actually something that we're starting as a couple. Now, it's true, it's like the strengths. Some people have the certain strengths and whatever, and, we're still kind of working it out as into what we're going to be doing with Zod Andrea, and you're going to see it in the future, especially in 2017, 2018. But I've seen some people who start up businesses as a couple, and it just doesn't last. Or maybe in some aspects it doesn't last because they put their emotion where it is, and they don't learn how to separate that emotion. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I love you, but why are you yelling at me? It's like, you got to be able to divide that up from respect or learning capabilities. Like, if your boss yells at you, of course you want to fight them, but a lot of people don't. Your boyfriend yell at you, you want to punch him in the mouth and, stop yelling at me, or you just leave the room. I think it's a learning experience for everybody around as a couple, and you have to learn to divvy that up. But everything does have to wind up being pretty much as a business aspect. Love can go as far as you want it to go, but, unless it's like written down or on paper, or, some things are clearly defined, a business can crumble.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, and it's really looking at knowing first and foremost as a couple, what do you want to create with this business? What do you want to build from it? What's going to be the end goal? That communication, like we say in everything, it's the communication that we've got to establish with each other, and also what are going to be the goals of this? What are we looking to create with this? What are we looking to create then in the next endeavor, and what could that be? So that we're not floundering. We're not just going to throw something against, what do they call it? Put pasta against the wall and see if it sticks. I think we're both in that. And again, because we both know each other and we both know what we want to do, we know what we can create together. And I think some of those couples that create a business together don't have those honest conversations.
And a lot of them will just crumble because of it. If you don't have that open communication, and that's with any business, whether you're with your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, partner, business
best
partner,
friend.
You're going to wind up being in close quarters together anyway, and it depends on that. On how you guys are going to succeed. So, start one together with your partner and see what happens.
Please listen carefully. Please listen carefully.
Once again, make sure you listen to the Zod Andrea podcast by subscribing to one of the following podcast methods: iTunes, Google Play, or YouTube. Visit our website at www.zodandrea.com to go directly to the links, or if you choose, you can listen to each podcast episode directly on the website under their individual posts.
Want to get involved and have your voice heard on the next podcast? Then be sure to tune in to the question of the week on our website, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram page. And dial in and leave a message on our voicemail at 323-963-4221.
If you're an advertiser who would like to have your 30-second or 1-minute placement on our podcast or YouTube episode, please contact us at info@zodandrea.com and we'll send you a price list. Space is limited for each episode.
The next podcast might even have you as a featured guest.
Tune in, check us out, and get involved.
Go on with the discussion. This is the big one right here. Are teen girls today sexualized more than in previous generations? I have a feeling this one might go over.
Yeah, because I can go on about this topic for a long time.
Should have brought on a guest for this one. I mean, this one,
or we might have gone on even
longer. It would have gone on even longer.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have any daughters. I don't have any kids. Just a single guy growing up, opening his eyes to what he has seen. Coming up in the game, Obviously being attracted to women and, dating a lot, doing whatever, having a good old time, you become accustomed to certain something, but that's as an adult. So as an adult, you're used to the shape, you're used to the boobs, or you're used to the sexuality of a woman and how she portrays herself, how she has now had a handle and a grip on how she is perceived to the world. She knows how to turn it on, she knows how to turn it off. She knows when she wants a man, she knows when she wants a woman, depending on, who it is. She just knows how to rock someone's world. And to me, that's something that's learned, but it's also learned through trial and error. It's learned through experience, and it's learned through time. It takes time to do it. There are some women who have that awkward phase where they can be in their early 20s with their awkward phase. And, maybe in their 25, 26, 27, whatever, maybe they're starting to get it. They understand, wow, I have this power. I now have this power of sexuality to be able to flaunt. Some women learn it early. Like, let's say you wind up being into a strip club and you figure that out at like 18 or something. So if you're at a strip club at 18 and you learn at that age, 18, by 19, you know that you can gyrate a certain way and a man will react. A woman may react if she's in that strip club. You know what you're doing. But even still, it's kind of taught. It's within a strip club. You know how to do that. Sometimes a strip club environment doing that does not work on the street. Like, oh, let me gyrate over. No, in the street, they may look at you as like some weird freak or something. So a woman knows how later on in life on how to balance that, on how to use her sexuality to move and groove, and it's almost like a chess move. She just knows how to do it well. It seems that today, correct me if I'm wrong, but that age of 25, 26 that I was mentioning is now 15, 16, where they are learning how to do this through makeup, through experiences with boys. We're talking about, I'm hearing high school sex parties, where somebody has even convinced a lot of people or girls, if they do it in your butt, you're still a virgin. Where sexuality is now getting younger and younger and younger. And when we were at that graduation, I'm like, oh my God, this woman looks like she's, first of all, I said woman, and she looks like she's in her 20s with the heels, the way the tight dress was, her makeup was flawless. And I'm like, this is an 18-year-old kid who just graduated. It's like, are the women nowadays, the young girls, the teen girls, being sexualized, and where does it come from? Where is the source? Is it social media? Is it TV? Is it print media? Is it television? What is it that is stopping them from that little growth rate? There was a growth period. It's now cut down to like 2 years as opposed to 10, as what it seems to me.
Well, I know that answer to that question for me. Being a woman and growing up in just even the time frame that I was in, I know I felt some pressure when you get into high school. And the pressure that I felt is nothing compared to what these kids are dealing with now in high school, right? Pressure I felt was more competing against other girls, right? Girls telling me, oh, why are your skin so dark? Why do you got big boobs? Why this? Why that? And looking at the other girls that were these tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed, light skin, it was more like that kind of competition within each other. I know I got pressure from boys at an early age because I had puberty so early. I was a B cup at age 11. And that brought in its own pressures from teachers, from faculty members. I went to a Catholic school, so you can imagine I screwed up some people, right? Yeah. And I was shamed. So I already had to learn at an early age a defense mechanism, right? So I couldn't even imagine now what teenage girls have to go through, and preteens. So when we decided to have this topic, I started to do some research, started, see like, okay, is it just me being maybe prudish or overprotective? Because especially the teenage girls that I know, I love them to death and I protect them. They're my mijas. And want to make sure that they still keep some kind of innocence, right? So doing some research found that with the APA, the American Psychological Association, and many other organizations across the globe, including UNICEF, have done reports on yes, there is a epidemic of sexualization of girls that lead to assaults, that lead to the girls then having all types of mental disorders. 3 major ones are eating disorders, depression, and what was the third one? So it was depression, anxiety. So it's depression, anxiety, and eating disorders, all because of what they all point to is the media, is social media, television. They were even showing statistics about even like Nickelodeon. How many times is a girl sexualized versus a boy? And in a 2-hour segment, the APA noticed that about 24-2. So 24 girls up to were sexualized in a Nickelodeon show versus 2 boys. I mean, come on.
And what's funny is, when we were coming up, let's take a TV show like Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're talking, 90s or something
like late, I think it was early 90s, right?
Early 90s,
yeah,
Zach Morris and all this other stuff. And, even the sexualization of teenagers then.
Mm-hmm.
You had your regular kids and regular teens, whatever, but then, let's say A.C. Slater, Mario Lopez would come out and he had like his shirt off. Yeah, woo! Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, he's supposed to play a little high school kid, and it's already you're throwing sex at him. Now, I understand that people do grow. Hormones are going to be raging. Things are going to be happening. Hey, when I was in the game, 13, 14 years, of course, I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, you're going to be looking.
But what kind of game did you have at 13 and 14?
First of all, they called me B-Love.
Stop.
High school, that was so funny. They called me B-Love in high school. But then what's funny is no one connected to me in college. And all of a sudden, what up, B-Love? I'm like, you're calling me. So I was B-Love for forever, like for whatever reason. Anyway, trust me, the ladies love me. And what's funny is one thing, I'm like, lady love cool Brent. But it was funny was I didn't, I was a late bloomer in the fact that I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it that the ladies would, even after I graduated college, it was, I didn't graduate college. But after I left college, it was like funny that I would learn later on that the women, like, oh, I didn't know she liked me. I didn't know she liked me. Like, even then I was a late bloomer. Nowadays, though, it's like, 15, like, oh, I had sex. It's like, granted, it did happen then, but it was, there's a sexuality. If you look at some of these teenagers' Instagram images, their makeup, they wore makeup. Remember you and I were talking about makeup. Like when they wore makeup back when I was in high school, the ladies, the young ladies with, 15 or whatever, they were trying on some of the mom's makeup.
We had a jacked up palette, especially being a girl of color. They didn't have foundations that matched me.
Man, I had people that were different color faces from their bodies.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous now that there's like this variety, But
think about that.
But we had that goofiness part where we could explore and we didn't have to look perfect. No. It's like these 14-year-olds already know how to contour.
Like the eyebrows are on point.
Highlight, like it's like this mask of makeup at 14.
First of all, how you even affording this?
Why
shit?
are your parents buying you so much damn makeup anyways?
And the outfits, not to sexualize, but it's like to focus on the girl. And this was It's a messed up story. That this teenage kid in North Carolina, she was banned from her graduation over a shirt. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Now
we saw it together, right?
Yeah, she's really cute, really good looking girl. Probably 17, 18 something, because she's going to graduate high school. Honors. This girl's got honors.
Right. And scholarships coming her way.
Scholarships, everything. This girl is like doing no wrong. But she wound up being suspended because she wore this shirt that exposed her collarbones, and it was like over her shoulder or something like that. Now, to almost anyone, especially if you look at some of the way these teenagers are dressed in high schools now, it's crazy how they're dressed now. Mm-hmm. This was conservative. Now, if you ever look at the story, it's about teen banned from graduation over her shirt. But if you look at this, her shirt is fine, but then they did say that her shirt was backless.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, maybe that's one thing, but even still, it's
But
like...
then she put on a jacket.
No, hold on. But I'm just talking just the shirt. What was the controversy of the shirt? And it seemed like in the rules, the shirt said specifically for girls, like if it's over the shoulder or whatever, you can't wear it, and you can be grounds for expulsion. And her thing was backless, so I'm like, okay, that might have something to do with it. But then she put on a jacket, zipped it up, and the teacher still was like, nope, you got to change. This is a female teacher. Now I'm thinking the teacher was either intimidated by or threatened by this girl's body, because this girl is not a small-chested girl.
Mm-mm. And I sympathize, because I had to deal with that kind of shit when I was in grade school. Because all of a sudden I had big boobs, and I had the female teachers giving me shit about it all the time.
And they were saying something about, like, in the last year, what was it, like 30-something or 42 girls had been... disciplined about their clothing. Like, think about that number in school, like 40-something in a certain year, all girls. And you wonder, why is the focus so much on the girls?
Right.
Not the boys. Now, I don't know what boys are going to be wearing that's going to be so sexually revealing. But, guys like to take off the shirts. They like to maybe roll up their sleeve. I don't know what they do, but there's got to be something where I think they are looking harder at girls and they're judging them more for it. But then are girls trying to battle them back to see how far they can go with their sexiness?
Oh, I think as a teenager, you're gonna try to push the limits anyways, right? If it wasn't maybe clothes, it might be with another rule.
Mm-hmm.
But you bring up the point of you've got one extreme and the other, right? But no matter what, it's like the girl is made to be wrong. Either you're too sexy or you're too conservative, right?
Yeah.
No matter what. What is the
There's no
drama?
middle ground.
There's
no middle ground for girls.
So what, as a girl, as a teenage girl, what are you left with when you're an adult woman? You're left with, okay, I'm just an object now. Nobody cares about what's going on inside my mind. I just need to look a certain way so that I'm accepted, and I need to just always have these selfies.
And be comfortable, though. Like, I mean, it's also comfort. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you just want to be comfortable. So, I wonder if some of the girls, are you comfortable with? Are you comfortable with revealing clothing? I'm not saying, hey, you skirt. Some of the people are like, oh, your skirt is above your knee, so, you're showing too much sexuality, But, just comfortability. Maybe your pants are tight and you wear a certain shirt, and, like, maybe you just want to be comfortable. Maybe her shirt was comfortable, that it was off the shoulders, and it was a style that's going... I mean, women have styles. That's what fashion designers are for. And girls want to emulate what they see on TV. They want to emulate their stars.
Right.
But I guess maybe in some places you're not supposed to. But it's like, are they being over-sexualized in general?
In general.
Yeah, are they being sexualized in general? It's like, you look at TV, you're like, oh, God, I want to be like the Kardashians.
Right. 10 years of this bullshit family has poisoned girls' minds. You're not a Kardashian. And if you are a girl and you have curves, don't try to shove your beautiful body into something that is not your size, because then that also causes some damage to your body down the road too. So I just don't know if girls don't even get this type of training from their moms anymore, because they're in competition, because the moms are in competition with the girls.
Oh, the competition, the competing
Yes.
moms.
It's like, moms, where are you coming in and I know for my mom, thank you so much. I know I hated this when I was a teenager, but my mom instilled some type of strict shit in me on what to do for undergarment. Okay. So thank you, Mom, for that. And I just wonder where's that disconnection going on with girls
true.
now?
Like, I mean, we were talking about that earlier, also about girls and their moms almost competing.
Mm-hmm.
My kid and I shop at Hot Topic together.
Right.
Like, for what?
They were selling girls' thongs at American Apparel for little girls. About, what was it, 5 years ago?
Wow.
For like 5-year-olds, thongs. That's some bullshit.
And what was that company? What was that one?
It was American Apparel.
No. What's that other company that's always getting in trouble for sexualizing teenagers? Not American Apparel. Oh, fuck.
But you know which one it is, because...
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
And
Not Abercrombie. Is it Abercrombie?
Abercrombie, and I think American Apparel, too.
It was one of them. But yeah, the shirtless kids and all that. It's like they were always getting in trouble.
So my question is, who are the sick-minded people that like this, that get turned on by this?
I don't
Gross!
know. Let's find out. But that's it. We told you we can talk about this forever. Like this one, I mean, because we like in our hearts we want to protect the girls, but we also want them to have the freedom to do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. But don't rush to be 25.
No rush. It's gonna get there.
Because when you're 25, you're going to look 45, and then you are going to be pissed because all the 65-year-olds are going to be dating your little younger sisters.
Right, but by the time you're 25, you want to gain some knowledge for that time.
Yeah, you're going to have to learn how to work it.
Invest in yourself. Invest in your mind and your spirit, not in the next lipstick coming out, the next Kylie Jenner.
Well, learn how to like our generation, learn how to use it. Mm-hmm. Learn how to use it as a tool, as a weapon, part of your arsenal.
Your sexuality's power.
Yeah, it's power. Learn how to do it, but don't, you give too much, you give too little, and who knows what's going to happen.
And don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, anyway, visit us, Zod and Dre, you know where to catch us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!
All right, ladies.